Well, it's time for us to take Lufono's glasses, put them on, and put the focus firmly on what's happening in African football. South Africa has a full quota of players playing in the Champions League. And gentlemen, I want us to have a focus on what's happening in Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. Surely South African football is at its healthiest at this present moment, Mapuzi.
Look, I think the PSL is doing a phenomenal job in terms of as a league that's stable, that's running very well, and it's very competitive. And what that does is that when teams play in the Champions League and in Confed Cup, they're able to then go to the knockout stages, and all that has come back to benefit Bafana. Because when you look at the team that played against Rwanda. It was a
excitement. The
first 11 are PSL players. Even Ngota, who came on as a substitute, it was still the PSL players.
Even in Tuari.
So when you look at that, it says that taking competition like as CAF Champions League and Confed very seriously, it's coming back to benefit the national team, and one can only look at it and say, job well done to the PSL.
We're talking about these two teams, Lufono, and I know you would love for us to speak about Cape Verde at this moment, but it's not time for that. Not yet. Give it some time.
Yeah.
I look at the starting 11 as he's talking about it. I have 5 players that are coming from Mamelodi Sundowns. I have 5 players that are coming from Orlando Pirates, which is these players that are playing in the Champions League. Orlando Pirates, they had to play the first round of the prelim. They played against Lioli, brushed them aside. They face an opponent that is very familiar to the people that we know, especially you. You signed one of their players with the Vodacom Challenge.
Yeah.
Kabamba Musasa.
Yeah,
Saint Eloi.
It's very familiar to Orlando Pirates too. This is a team that was once invited in South Africa during the Vodacom Challenge. This time around, Pirates is going away. But looking at the Pirates form, I mean, locally again, you look at Pirates doing, and just won the MTN tournament.
They don't concede.
Yeah, they don't concede. They are confident. They are scoring goals. They might not be getting goals from their strikers, but they get goals everywhere. They get goals everywhere.
That's a dangerous team.
It's a very dangerous team. So you don't know who to play with. Relay hasn't even pushed the gears up yet. And for me, I think looking at Pirates, looking at what they did in the Champions League, how they played away, they've got the formula, and I don't think that they will be troubled in Lubumbashi.
Let's look at he's talking about Relay, and Relay is taking a new role in that number 10 position. You look at Bafana now in that 10 position, there's a Relay, there's Mbule, there's Maswangani, and Mshishi. But now
Mbule himself said, Slinde way.
But you look at the large chunk of those 10s, they're coming from Orlando Park. Surely that's where the ammunition is at.
Look, I think the one thing that one has to be able to do, you can't deny form. And that would have been the blueprint that even Hugo Bruce saw. When Sundowns was doing well, you could have said anything that you wanted to say. That was a team that was doing well. He took the majority of the Sundowns players to the AFCON. What did they do? You can't deny what form is and how well the players are doing. Use what you've got and the experience that you've got to be able to benefit the team. What Orlando Pirates is doing, Relay at number 10 is like having signed a new player totally, because it then allows you to be able to have Apollos, to have Moremi, and to be able to say, to have Sbelebele. So, and Hoto still going down. So what you've got so many more options that you can be, and really knows just how to put the ball in those difficult areas. He doesn't take too long on the ball. He puts the ball in the right areas. If you look at the MTN 8 in the final, those goals came from those decisive passes that were coming from Relay in that position. And he's really saying, he's putting his hand up for that role as well.
Because of the ranking system, Mamelodi Sundowns, they had to sit it out like a Grootman that they are. Now they're coming into this competition, playing a team from Nigeria. And Nigeria, that has done us a great favor, I might add, when it comes to the World Cup qualification. But now, favors aside, Remo Stars, surely Mamelodi Sundowns, it shouldn't be too much of a hurdle for them?
Yeah, looking at the experience in the Champions League, they've been there consistently. They've played a different opposition, they've been in different situations and difficult situations in the past. And I expect, you are looking at how many players that are playing in Bafana currently. It's almost about a whole full team that you can feel that can go to Bafana. They've got enough experience, they've got enough depth to be able to get the result result in Nigeria. And the result does not mean to win, but they need to make sure that they don't lose. Sundowns knows how to play, they knows, how to get an away goal rule. They know what it means to do that in this competition. So I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting trouble. They've got a coach. By the way, they've got a coach that knows how to play in the Champions League.
Look, this show was going so nicely. We're talking about Lufuno.
Yeah.
I see lots of problems.
Yeah.
You see Cardoso still in charge.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm saying to him, they've got Don Cardoso. He's a master in the Champions League. He has taken them to the Champions League final. He has taken
by hook or crook.
He has taken Esperance to the Champions League back to back. So he's got the
he knows how to get there.
He's got the know-how. So then they must trust the process.
And Mamposa, maybe let me add on to that. Mamelodi Sundowns, the last time they played in a Nigerian opponent, they didn't struggle. They won even in Nigeria.
Look at the way that Cardoso is playing. Doesn't matter where he's playing. Whether he's playing DDC team, I worry because of the way that he is. The team and what you need the team to be able to work well together. You need the team to have cohesion. You need the team that knows. He's still trying to experiment. And some of the experiment that he's doing, you have players that land on a Thursday, and then you try to play them in a semi-final. When you look at the Santos, you're looking at. You can't be doing that because there should be a system that says these are my trusted players. And everybody else, like he says Basadin must earn his keep. Why can the others not earn their keep? It tells you that unity is not there. He relied too much on one Ribeiro for so long that him being out of the Sundowns does not look like the same team.
Lufuno, surely it can't be the train smash. He's making it seem as if this team should be able to bulldoze.
I think what is worrying Poe a lot is how Sundowns used to play, how he should know Sundowns how to play. But it's not about the result, because Cardoso does get the result. He does win. So for me,
he can't really fault it.
Yeah. So for me, I'll understand Poe when he says, this is not how Sundowns you normally play, how they dominate the game. I agree with him on that. But the guy knows how to get the result. So that's why I'm saying to you that I don't think that Sundowns will struggle to get the result in Nigeria.
But one thing I have to give to you, Mamposa, you look at the body language of the players of Mamelodi Sundowns. That is, players that you knew would be able to raise their hand, they'll be able to raise the bar and carry the team. They seem like they've checked out. You look at Jaden Adams, for example.
Jaden is not the only one. Did you see how Tebogo Mokoena was playing box to box and he looked happy and he could be able to?
He looks a different player.
He looks a different player when he goes to Sundowns. We'll be talking about fatigue and all those things. And those things comes from where? The coaching. Because the coach has got to be able to say, we believe in you, give them a new energy and be able to go on and be able to make sure that they get the result that's required. Even the results that Sundowns has got in terms of, Lufuna may say we got to the finals. The way that Sundowns got to the finals of the Champions League was not very convincing. Until the...
it doesn't have to be convincing.
No.
It doesn't have to be convincing. You have to be...
You read the back pages, it doesn't say they're not convincing.
You have played well in the past. You've dominated in the past, and you don't get to the final.
But for Sundowns, it's a prerequisite. The style that you play is important.
He's speaking about a prerequisite. One of the prerequisites for this coach in particular is for him to win the Champions League. Surely he got them in the semi. Got knocked out of the first round, Culling, and then they kept quiet. Nobody said anything, and a lot of supporters thought maybe but it didn't happen. This time around, should there be trouble or even a loss in the first round?
Yeah. There'll be problems. I can tell you that. I think if anything happened, there will be chaos at Sundowns. But I think the coach had enough time to work with his team, integrate the new players to the team now because he had an international break, and you could see that there was something brewing. Surely now he has really tried to patch where he needs to patch. He's got the players. He's got the material.
Lufuno, you see, the thing is, like, if you're saying he's worked on, if you look at Cardoso and how he coaches, his philosophy is not about playing expensive football. It's not about playing the Sundowns way. Shushan and beyond, he found it, and he's managed to. We've got our own TLB.
At least for the first time, Fandago, we didn't get Mamposa to have a message directly to Cardoso. But we do have a message for you, so you have to make sure that you stay with them, Mzansi Fundis. When we come back on the other side, yes, we look at what's happening in the Confederation Cup.